Program on 5 days a week, and today in the studio, Beaumont-born, Austin-based songwriter, performer, guitar slinger, producer, filmmaker, and actor. He recently put out his 9th CD and is in town for an in-store Cactus today. This is around 5 or 5:30, and then it's on to Under the Volcano this evening around 8. Jesse Dayton, welcome back, buddy.
Rourke, so good to be here, man. How are you?
Welcome back home. You missing Houston?
I always miss Houston. I'm one of the only musicians who lives in Austin who still wishes he lived in Houston.
All right.
And I tell people that, and I go, look, I don't expect you to understand. And Houston's got too many people, so they don't need you anyway. Right. Yeah, I'm close to my kid, who him and his mom live about 5 minutes away from me in Austin, and so I did not move there for the music scene.
Sure.
But the good news is that I had my kid when I was really young, so he's going to be out of school. So there's a chance I might be able to move back here and be able to see my Astros anytime I want to see them lose. I can go see them.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And is the young man going to be is he going to be in the band one day?
God, I hope not. Or the family needs a lawyer. That's what
there
we
you go. Very nice. Now you're in town performing Kinky Friedman songs, and you performed as Kinky Friedman in a production, I guess a couple years ago, about a year and a half.
Yeah.
World According to Kinky Friedman, and you actually played Kinky in this film and sang some Kinky songs, and that kind of inspired you to record your last record. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's this guy named Ted Swinley, who wrote Becoming Patsy. Oh, he wrote Always Patsy, which was about a stage play about Patsy Cline.
Went all over the country,
incredibly successful. It was on Broadway, big New York deal. So I went. He called me and said, "Hey, are you interested in trying out for this thing?" So I said, "Yeah, why not? I know Kinky. I do a pretty good Kinky impression. I'll do one here for you right now."
Go for it.
He called me the other night from Belgium. He was on tour, and he just left this message and hung up. He goes, "Jess, if you're going to have sex with an animal, make sure it's a horse. That way, if things don't work out, you always got to ride home." And so it's like...
does he do this often to you?
He does.
These random, strange messages?
He's my Hunter Thompson,
Right.
He calls me in the middle of the night, and if he calls, I wake up, and I'm lucky to be on the phone with him.
Sure. Do you return the favor and drop him weird messages as well?
Yes, I do, actually. He calls me Dr. Date, and I call him Dr. Friedman.
When he comes in, I'm going to ask him to imitate you. And
oh, yeah, he'll do it.
He'll do it. Absolutely.
But, so I went into this room, and there was about 18 guys with black cowboy hats and fake cigars, and I got the part. And so we did it, and it did very well. I mean, I was, I'm pretty surprised at how many tickets we sold and that whole thing. And we were going to go do this off-Broadway thing, and then I got an opportunity. I'd written the script while I was with Rob Zombie, and we gave the script to Malcolm McDowell, and Malcolm McDowell said, "Oh, I love this script." By the way, there's nothing worse than a guy from Beaumont doing an English accent. But he said, "I love this script, man. Like, let's make this film." And I was like, great. So as soon as I had Malcolm on board, I got the money. And
there's some other cool cats that kind of joined in as
I couldn't
well.
believe who. Well, I mean, when Tarantino got Travolta to be in Pulp Fiction, he was making talking baby movies. Mm-hmm. That's where his career was.
Right.
People were like, "You cannot," Harvey Weinstein, all the guys were like, "You cannot cast John Travolta." So, I mean, I put Corey Feldman in mind.
Right.
Because I loved the Goonies when I was a kid. Sure. And plus I could get Corey. Right. And a lot of other guys I couldn't get. And I got Corey, and I got Malcolm McDowell, and I got Sid Haig, and I got the singer for Slayer, Tom Araya.
Now, tell folks about how that all panned out. You got a phone call from him one day. Right?
Yeah. I was on the set, and Tom Araya calls me, and he goes, "Hey, this is Tom Araya, the singer for Slayer." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, "I hear you guys are shooting a zombie movie, and I'd love to come down and check it out, And he goes, "I'm a big horror fan." I go, "Well, if you come down, you got to be in the movie." And he's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So by the time he got there, I had written a whole scene for him.
He's a Texas guy, right?
He lives in Buffalo or outside of somewhere out in East Texas.
Okay.
Bought a ton of land.
So you wrote a special part for him in this movie. Now, this movie,
did.
we haven't even talked about the movie itself yet. It's called Zombex.
Called Zombex. It just screened at Cannes Film Festival.
And someone picked it up.
Someone picked it up, and you know, we sold a bunch of foreign territories.
Okay.
So we've already started recouping it and it hadn't been released yet. So pretty excited about that.
Okay.
Guys where I come from are not supposed to be trusted with that much money to make a movie.
Right.
It's a whole lot more than making a record.
Sure.
And there's a whole lot more stuff. And so I had to, you know, I had to really cut back on my lifestyle and kind of focus into being a more responsible person for about the last 17 months, which has been a trip. So now that that's over,
You can let loose and be yourself
I'm
again.
back in Houston to be my old debaucherous self tonight at the volcano.
Very cool. And you're going to be singing Kinky Friedman songs. We'll talk more about the movie because there's a lot of questions I have to ask you about it.
Sure.
And your last film, which is The Sinner, that's actually out, and you can rent it from your website.
Yeah, it's out and it's on like some cable TV stuff. Is picking it up, and they're actually talking about maybe turning that into a television show.
Really?
Which, man, I would love to be on a national television show and sleep in my own bed at night and film it in Austin.
Sure.
The character's a great character. It's this Reverend Roy character. He's a crime syndicate guy from New Orleans. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, you know.
And also one of the chicks from the Trishas is in it.
Welch.
Yeah.
Susanna Welch.
Yeah.
She's really good in it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, she's really
out.
good. Yeah, it's kind of a conspiracy theory, crime drama thing, and they're talking to like IFC and a couple of people about doing it in Austin, and it's a good time to film a TV show in Austin, as hot as Austin is right now.
Sure.
You know.
All right, we've got one loaded up from the latest CD called Jesse Sings Kinky, and you'll be singing. Will you only be doing Kinky for
No. We're gonna play all kinds of stuff.
And you got your full band with you tonight.
I got a really hot band with me right now.
All right, well, we'll talk about that next. Introduce this song for us. The first one on the CD.
The first one is a song that Kinky wrote, I believe, when he was living with Tom Waits in L.A., called Rapid City, South Dakota.
Cool. Here it is. Jesse Dayton right here at KPFT Houston. All right. I'll let you introduce the band members next. We'll go over that. And I want to talk to you. We still need to finish the story about the Slayer guy.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about
Told me anywhere you're going is on my way. But as we pass the big sky drive-in, his eyes begin to flash. Well, he was leaving Rapid City mighty fast. He said, I hope to God she finds the goodbye letter that I wrote her.
It's cool. We went to lunch yesterday and hung out.